So the Chapter 5 practice test, as you know, these questions are also in the question bank for the test. So you might get these exact same questions on the test. There's also ones that are similar to this with different questions or maybe a slightly different diagram. But all of these questions are in the question bank along with some of the homework questions, some of the workbook questions, and all of that. And it's all in the question bank. If it's a little bit of a harder question, for example, number 16, it's the exact same question on the test if you get that one on the test. So if it's a little bit more challenging or something we didn't spend a lot of time on, it'll be the exact same question. So that's good to know as well. Also, a good way to study would be to print this out again tonight and then just work through the questions. I'll have the video up so that way if you need instruction or you just want to watch it before you go to bed or something tonight, so that way it's fresh in your head, you can do that as well. The questions, some of the questions are from the homework. With the way I have the homework set up is your top score will always stay your top score. So if you already have a 10 out of 10 on the homework, if you go through and redo a homework and get a 6 out of 10, it's not going to replace the 10 out of 10 with a 6 out of 10. It'll always keep your highest score. So that might be a good way to study, is to go through and do the homework again and see how you're doing on those questions, because those questions are also in the question bank for the test. So yeah, let's do this, right? Okay, so on the test, this exact diagram is there. The first one asks to name an altitude, and altitude is the perpendicular height of a triangle. So it would look like this from the corner to the base, and it creates a 90-degree angle. So when I'm looking at the diagram, that's what I'm looking for. Here it shows a little square right there on GB, but GB is a perpendicular bisector. It doesn't go to the corner. This one right here, DE, does go from the corner to the base, and it is perpendicular to it. So the answer is A. Then number 2, name a perpendicular bisector. A perpendicular bisector looks like this. It bisects this segment at the midpoint, and it's perpendicular to it. So it would look like this. So in the diagram, GB is that perpendicular bisector. And this pen is not working. Okay, and next, name an angle bisector. An angle bisector is when you split the angle in half. So if I was to split this angle exactly in half, it would look like this. And it would have these 2 marks to show you that both sides of that line is the same measured angle. So when I look at the diagram, I see that CF is an angle bisector here. So CF is the answer. And zoom out a little bit. Number 4, name a median. A median looks like this. It is from the corner to the midpoint of the segment. So let's say the midpoint of this segment is right there. It would go from the corner to that midpoint, and this would be the same length as this side over here. So when I look at the diagram, at this point there's so many lines it's hard to see, but AB goes from the corner to the midpoint here, and it shows that this side is the same length as this one. So AB is your answer. So again, this is the exact same diagram that'll be on the test. It just, which question you get asked may vary. And down here, refer to the figure to determine which is a true statement for the given information. AC is a median. I'm going to draw it over here. So I'm drawing a diagram just like the one they gave me right here. If AC is a median, then this would be the midpoint of that line, and this would be the same length as this. So BC would be equal to segment CD. Number 6, AC is an angle bisector. Again, I'm drawing the diagram just like it pictured here. If AC was an angle bisector, then this side of the angle would be the same measure as this side. So angle BAC would be congruent to angle DAC. B. And AC as an altitude. Now when it comes to AC being an altitude, this picture definitely is not to scale for what an altitude normally looks like, but we have to go based on what it says. So AC being an altitude would probably look more like this with that 90-degree angle. So that means that angle ACD would be 90 degrees. Okay, and the next question, number 8. Number 8 and 9 are the ones that I told you wasn't covered in the lessons, but it's so easy, I just decided to keep it on there. And then if you ever get asked it on a standardized test, it's an easy one that you could get correct there as well. You may have even seen this in 8th grade. Number 8 says, name the longest side of the triangle. Well, they give you angle measures, but they don't give you side measures. But the sides are proportional to the angle measures. So if this is 108, the largest angle, then the side opposite it would be the longest side, DF. And then number 9, which angle in triangle ABC has the greatest measure? So now it's asking for the greatest angle measure. We look for the longest side, which is right here. The angle opposite it would have the largest angle measure, so angle B. Number 10. If D is the circumcenter of the triangle and AD equals 6, find BD. Well, in your notes, it says the circumcenter is equidistant from the vertices of a triangle. So if that's the circumcenter, then the distance to the corners is the same length. So this is the same length as this one and the same length as this line. So if this is 6, then BD is also 6. BF is the median of BEC, this triangle here. If EC is 15, find FC. So EC is this entire length here. It's saying it's 15. It's saying that this is the median, so this is the same length as this here. So if we take 15 and divide it by 2, it would give us just this part, FC. So 15 divided by 2 equals 7.5. Next one, number 12. P is the centroid. When P is a centroid, if you look back at that chart, the medians intersect at the centroid. So that means these lines are medians. So this is a median here, and this is the same length as this segment over here. It says that YC, just this part, is 15. Find the length of YZ, the entire segment here. Well, if this is 15, it has to be the same measure as this part. So 15 plus 15, YZ equals 30. Which of the following can intersect outside a triangle? This is something we didn't see. If you get it on the test, it'll be this exact question. The way I went about figuring this out without looking at the answer key is I just considered each one. If I have a triangle and I have angle bisectors, they would have to intersect inside the triangle, so it can't be that one. Medians, again, if I draw the medians, they would have to intersect inside the triangle, can't be that. Sides, it doesn't intersect outside the triangle, it's just like part of the triangle. Altitudes would be the only thing I think could happen, and this is my thought process as I was doing it. So for example, when you see a triangle, sometimes the altitude, the height, is drawn out to the side. So I can't visualize all 3 altitudes outside, but that's the only one that to me could be plausible. So that's why I chose altitudes. I need to look up an actual picture of it intersecting outside, but for now, that'll do. 14, what is the name of the point of concurrency of the altitudes of a triangle? The altitudes intersect at the orthocenter. And the test will be multiple choice. I just took out some of the multiple choice to save room on the paper. But the test will all be multiple choice. What is the name of the point and concurrency of the medians of a triangle? Well, the medians intersect at the centroid. And just consider how else might that be asked. So here I only had 2 of them covered, but all 4 of them are in the question bank. So this would be a good thing to study and just make sure you know what goes with what. Maybe make 4 flashcards and just memorize it that way. Okay, 16, I told you was a little bit more challenging. Again, if you get it on the test, it'll be that exact problem. Let me explain how you would go about solving it though. It says PS is the perpendicular bisector of QR. So here I'm going to draw segment QR. And it says that PS is the perpendicular bisector. So segment PS is perpendicular to QR and it bisects it. So this would be the same measure as this here. Then it goes on to say that QR is the perpendicular bisector of PS. So it also bisects PS, and this would be the same measure as this over here. And then it says if PQ is 2x plus 9, so I look at PQ, so that means I must have to connect this here, and it's 2x plus 9, and QX is 5x minus 12, so that would be 5x minus 12. Find x. Well, based on what I have, I know this is a 90-degree angle here and a 90-degree angle here. You have side angle, side congruence. These triangles are congruent. So therefore, you can just set these expressions equal to each other and solve it for x. So 2x plus 9 equals 5x minus 12, and I'm going to solve it. I get 3x equals 21, x equals 7. So the answer is x equals 7. (21) and 22, that is just like 8 and 9. Name the longest side of the triangle. You'll just look for the largest angle measure, go opposite to that. So AB must be the longest side. Name the angle with the greatest measure. Just go to the longest side, go opposite to that. It would be angle D. (23) Find the measure of QA, this segment here. Well, based on what they're showing me, this is the same measure as this segment. So you can set these equal to solve for x. X equals 4. X equals 4 would be in the answer choices. And so many students, including myself, go and like choose 4 before they're actually done with the problem, so be careful of that. You need to then take this 4 and plug it back into the expression. QA is equal to 3x plus 16, so 3 times 4 plus 16, 12 plus 16 is 28. So QA equals 28, and that would be the correct answer to that. And I did put like 5 or 6 of these types of questions in the question bank. There's only 2 here, but if you want more practice with them, go back to the homeworks because those are the questions that are used. QN, finding this distance here. 3x is equal to x plus 10. Solve for x and then plug it back in. And again, it will be multiple choice. But sometimes multiple choice can mess you up. And the next type of problem, this one here. This diagram, again, is in the question bank. I only have 2 questions here, but I think there's like 4 or 5 that could be asked about this. So I'm going to go through like what each measurement would be and how you'd find it, so that way no matter which question you get asked, you know how to do it. Here it says that segment CP is 30, EP is 18. They already labeled that for us. And then it says that BF equals 39. So this length right here is 39. Remember, it's a 2-to-1 ratio for these. So if I take 39 and divide by 3, I get 13. So that would be here. And then I need to double that to get the longer side of that segment. So 26 to get that length there. I'm going to go to segment EA. The shorter part of that segment is 18. To get the longer part, I can just double that to get 36. And then for segment CD, the longer part is 30, so the shorter part would be half of 30, which would be 15. And then once I have that filled out, I can answer the question. CD, this entire length would be 15 plus 30, which would be 45. EA, 18 plus 36 is 54. And the last one, find each measure. I put a few of these on there just because they're easy. When it shows that these lines have the same measure, that means that the angles also have the same measure. So if this is 38 degrees, then this angle is 38 degrees, so NJZ is 38 degrees. And that's it. So make sure you have all the work done, of course, and then you'll turn this in tomorrow before the test. So you're going to take it home to study and then turn it in tomorrow before the test. What we're going to do for the rest of class, I'm going to have you upload your Chapter 5 notes and workbook pages. So take out your folder in your workbook, write down your name and pen on the notes and workbook pages, and then you'll upload them in PDF format. You can get your phones for this, since that's the easiest way to upload it. So get your phone and upload your notes and workbook pages.